Last Breath. So, Last Breath is the new, who's in this film? Simu Liu film starring Simu Liu, starring Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson film starring Woody Harrelson and Finn Cole. Finn Cole is that actor from Peaky Blinders. So this is a true story that follows seasoned deep sea divers as they battle the raging elements to rescue their crewmate trapped hundreds of feet below the ocean's surface. So what did I think of this film? I thought it was amazing. What a great story! Like, this was a story I didn't know. It's set just off the coast of Scotland, and it's these guys that have to go sort of deep down into the ocean to sort of do maintenance on these pipes that are delivering energy and I guess electricity or some kind of energy source to the UK from Europe or from somewhere. I don't know. But there's these pipes all at the bottom of the ocean. Lord knows how they managed to build pipes down there, but there are pipes down there, and in these pipes, there's power basically coming to the UK and going to all countries, I guess. And there's power stations down there as well. There's like literal power stations down at the very bottom of the ocean, sort of just miles off the coast. And it's not like a computer does any of this. It's people, human beings, go down and just look at it like a plumber would come and look at your sink. Like, it's just, you have to go down there, and the human body's not supposed to be down there, so they've got to spend a few days in some kind of tank that's sort of sealed off from normal oxygen. And this tank, I guess, has got some sort of different type of oxygen, maybe mixed with helium, something else that's sort of gonna slowly sort of change your body, maybe change the oxygen in your body to be able to survive that deep underwater. So they've got to spend a few days sort of acclimatizing. Is that the right word? Yeah, I guess, acclimatizing to that climate down there. So they just stay in a metal cage, and then the ship that they're in, like, so they're in a cage in a ship basically, and this big giant ship goes to the right point in the middle of the ocean, which looks like it's absolutely in the middle of nowhere, and then they lower their metal cage down, like 350 feet down, and then from there they get in their suits. These men in the cages, they get in their suits. Simu Louis, how do you say his name? Simu Liu, Finn Cole. They get into these suits, and Woody Harrelson's there on his last day of the job, and he has to stay on deck, but he's down there with them, 350 feet down there in the ocean. But they just get into their suits, go into the water, and it's pitch black, and they're not at the floor. They still seem to be like hundreds of feet away from the ocean bed, and then they just jump. They just jump from the ship and jump all the way down to the floor, and then with some torches they walk and find the pipe, find the power station. They've got to do that job. Like, is that an insane job? Like, why does that job exist? That's insane. That's crazy. And it's not like this is a once a year job. They do this all year round, like a normal job. I don't think it's quite 9 to 5, but it's like, okay, a couple of weeks at sea, done, a couple of weeks on land, let's go back out to sea a couple of weeks later. Just insane. But yeah, anyway, in this specific story, this true story, they're under, they're 350 feet down there, but above where the actual ship is, above the ocean, it's a huge storm, and the boat has this sort of mechanism where it's able to automatically, with propellers, stay completely in one location, so it's not drifting around. But there's this huge storm that's sort of swaying this boat up and down, this ship up and down, and then all the power goes. So those propellers that are automatically keeping the ship in place, they stop, and the ship starts getting like drifting, like they've got no power left on this boat. And so these guys at 100 feet, the 300, the cage, the metal cage is attached to the ship still. And that's 350 feet down below the water. And then the men who have jumped off down on the ocean bed, they're attached by like a small cable, and that's like another like 100, 200 feet down. So there's this huge cable, and they start getting dragged along because the ship is moving. And because there's a power station and they're sort of in the pipes of the power station, they've got to get out because they're going to get dragged around, and they get dragged up onto the top of this power station, but one of their cables gets caught and snaps. And so Simu Liu is still attached to the cable. He gets dragged away with the ship, with this huge storm that's happening. But Finn Cole, his cable snapped, and he flies off the top of this power station, and he flies all the way down onto the ground, the ocean bed, in pitch blackness, and he's stuck there, and he's told he has 10 minutes left of oxygen, just 10 fucking minutes left of oxygen. And at that point, you're like, well, what's going to comprise of the rest of this movie? Because the movie's only been about half an hour so far. Like, we need another hour of movie, roughly. He's got 10 minutes left of oxygen. Like, they surely can't save him, because then the movie would end in about 10 minutes. And it is about the rescue. It's about him, him having to survive without oxygen for like for way longer. Like, once the 10 minutes is up, he's got to survive without oxygen somehow. It's about Woody Harrelson and Simu Liu. The people are trying to sort out the ship above the water, and it's this true rescue mission. One crazy bit is, so Finn Cole, who's lost at the bottom of the ocean, he finds the power station again, and as his oxygen runs out, he's got the frame of mind, the presence of mind, to be able to attach himself to the power station. He gets himself on top of it and attaches himself to it, because as his oxygen just runs out, and he, quite rightly thinks, I'm probably about to die, he's got the presence of mind to attach his body, so his body doesn't drift off and float away with the ocean and become lost forever. Like, isn't that insane? That's so scary to have to really prepare yourself for death like that. The film was great. I was on the edge of my seat. I was practically gasping for air myself, if I'm honest with you. I've got asthma, and I was taking my inhaler. I was like, this is insane. I don't think I can handle much more of this film. It's so breathless. And it's just their day-to-day job. It's just crazy. I really recommend that film. There's a guy in my sauna who was like, it's a really good film, but if you're a diver, this is just normal for you. It's not that amazing. It's just normal stuff. And I'm like, damn, like, I'm never taking up diving. I'm sorry. If that's normal, if that's not too dramatic for you, if that's just normal diving, I'm like, that's not for me. I like breathing. Yeah. I've got asthma, I spend enough time without oxygen.